Eric is Dead is an artistic expression, obviously. Um, but I just wanted to make a video specifically on that to explain what I actually mean by that, because this is not a literal um, this is not a literal explanation for that. This is an artistic explanation. This is a spiritual death. This is a spiritual death. So let me just explain who Eric was. First of all, Eric was absolutely pathetic. He was weak. He was depressed. He had so many scars that just never healed. So I decided to kill that version of myself. And now I'm someone completely different. I'm David Starks, which means I am focused 100% of my energy on David Starks. And so let me just explain how this whole idea came about. This actually started back in high school. This started back in high school where I would do card tricks for, you know, card tricks for people there at lunch every time. Um, instead of going and grabbing lunch like normal people would do, I took my playing cards and I took a camera with me, and I did something called Magic Fridays, where every Friday I would go to the middle of the courtyard and I would perform a card trick and I would film it and upload it to YouTube. Um, so I started doing that, and within within the third week that I actually started doing that, people started coming up to me and saying, "Hey, you're the kid that does magic, right? You're the magic guy. You're the magic guy." I'm like, "Yeah, nice to meet you. How are you?" So it was kind of cool back in high school to have people, to recognize your talent. So I had a lot of friends back. I mean, I wasn't popular. I don't consider myself popular in high school. I wasn't popular in high school, but I did have a lot of people that were following my creativity, my magic, and people just loved the magic. People loved it every time I performed magic. But here's the thing. I never got invited to anything. Never got invited to anything. So then it dawned on me. They don't care about Eric. They don't give a shit about Eric. The only person they care about is this character that I'm portraying. This character that uh, I'm expressing. So the only thing they care about is the magic. They don't care about me, or not me, but Eric. They didn't care about Eric. They didn't bother to find out who Eric was. The only person they cared about was this other person called David Starks. Um, Now, as far as the name, where that name came from, I literally have no idea. It's just something that kind of dawned on me. It just came out of nowhere. So I don't have a I don't have a good answer for that. Um, but that is where the whole the concrete level of this whole thing kind of started. Um, I was just like, well, when I perform, I'm a completely different person. I'm not the same person because, um, you know, when I perform, I'm confident and I'm energetic and I feel good. I feel good when I perform. So those were two different people. Now, where did Eric is dead, where did that concept actually go into action? It actually went into action after I met this really beautiful girl that I had, this really beautiful girl at work. I started interacting with her, and it was actually inspired by her. She doesn't know this, but it was inspired by her because, I really liked this girl at work. I really liked this girl, and I was keeping her close, just interacting with her and talking to her, and I really liked her. I really started to like her. But then she said something that really just made me see her for who she really was, and really made me see what a terrible person she actually is. She actually said something that she probably wasn't even aware of it, but it actually made me feel like shit about myself for a moment. And I said to myself, you know what? This girl does not deserve to make me feel like shit about myself. And I was disappointed. I was very disappointed in myself because I really liked this girl. So I remember getting into my car. After work, I got into my car. And I looked in the rear view mirror. This is how it all started. I looked in the rear view mirror and I was heartbroken because I really liked this girl. Liked as in past tense. I don't like her anymore, obviously. But I looked at my rear view mirror. I looked at my reflection in the mirror and I said to myself, Eric is dead. David Starks is who I am. And I just kept repeating that to myself. And the more I said it, it's just like a switch. Like a switch just went off in my head. That's when it dawned on me. I was not meant to be Eric. I was meant to be David Starks. So what that means is I am going to be 100% focused on David Starks. From that moment on, I was 100% David Starks, 100% of the time, 24/7. When I went into work, I actually used my job as a marketing technique. And I'm still using my job as a marketing technique. When I usually, when I help people to the car, I will, very briefly bring up the fact that, hey, I'm a magician. I have a YouTube channel. Any way that I can bring it up, I'll bring it up. And then that's how I kind of get across my artist name out there. That's how I get David Starks out there into the world. So, there you go. That is the concept. That is where that whole dead actually came from. And you probably didn't know that, but that was all inspired by a girl at work that I really, really liked. And, now I finally have a clear image in my head. I don't need to be with someone to be successful in my career. I'm going to be my own fucking person. I'm going to be my own artist. Get ready, because David Starks is coming to you.